The King's back. 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 The King's back.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to my live stream. I am the actual King Smith. And why is this thing zoomed up this close? I haven't combed my beard this morning. It's all good. And I'm also running a little bit late. But what's up? We are on day 41 of the government shutdown. I think it's, for me, day number 8 for me being furloughed. As I drink this water to know what I was about to say, something that was very pause-worthy. Today's live stream, I woke up this morning to see what the Senate and the news was going to say about the government shutdown. Apparently, there are enough Democrats out there that are willing to vote on a CR to get things funded through the end of this year. And I'm reading what some of our elected officials are saying about it. They needed 60 total votes to be able to get it passed. And apparently they have 8 Democrat senators that are willing to approve and vote yes for whatever bill that they're looking at trying to advance to get our government open through the end of this year, is the way that I'm understanding it. There are still several Democrats that are coming out and voting no. The minority speakers came out and said that he's going to vote no. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. They're gonna reconvene again today, which I believe is the last day this week. If for some reason it doesn't make it past the Senate, that things can happen. Because tomorrow is Veterans Day, as well as a back to state work week for the Senate. So we'll see how this thing pops off. Good morning to Pete. Greek Pete said, good morning, brother. Good morning to you as well. I appreciate you popping in and tuning in. Today's live stream is going to be a visual presentation a little bit. I didn't have it set up the way that I wanted it to happen, but I think that I can still get this to work properly here by making some small edits on my side to have this thing work out. I wanted to showcase, like, what's the real cost of living? What's the real cost of living based on where I live at, to give an idea of how much things are actually costing out there. Some people don't budget. A good people don't budget. I'd be like, all right, I know this is how much income I have coming in. I know that this is about what my expenses are, but I'm not going to budget for everything. If I want it, I'm going to get it. And that's the wrong way to live. That is the wrong way to live, because something could happen and you could get assed out if you don't have a proper budget and not know like where your money is going. If you're a guy, and I'm going to say this speaking directly to men, if you're a man and you're out here trying to date, but you don't have a budget, you're doing things wrong. You're doing things wrong. And it doesn't matter like whether you're wealthy or not. Meaning I know what's going out into what areas and into what categories. And you should be able to have a ballpark figure at any given moment to know whether you're close to your budget or not. Okay. So I did the area that I live in, and I'm going to take a gross annual salary that is considered okay for where I live, but it's not going to be okay for, it's going to look high for other areas. I know several people, and I figure out what percentage of people even make this amount, because they'll say six figures, like 100,000 is the new like 65,000, especially if you live up here in Frederick, Maryland. Shout out to the Sports Bar USA. Say, what do you hear? What do you say? Is this the Today Show, the government shutdown edition? Yes, it is. It is the morning show, the coffee show, the morning tea show with me, the actual King Smith. Whether I'm furloughed or not, I'm still going to do this. Waking up this morning kind of helps get the brain juices going, if you will. But I appreciate you popping in, Coach. If y'all don't know, Coach does a sports show with me on WTF Nation Radio every Wednesday. We say every Wednesday, most Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone. All right. So I'm going to see if I could get this up on the screen here. See if I can format it in a way before I do that makes sense to be displayed. How do I show it? No, I don't want to show it that way. I want to show it like a single page. All right, here we go. Boom. So now I can share my screen here. And y'all let me know if these numbers are off. This ain't it. Where's the window? Here it is. All right, bam. So I use somebody that's making a gross income of 103,000 as my income level. 103,000. How many people do you think out there are making 103,000? Let me see. Let me ask Google. How many people are making 103,000 in the United States? What about Maryland? Let's see what the internet has to say about this. How many people are making 103,000 in the U.S. and what about Maryland? And it looks like it's pulling things from the census. All right, so it says in the U.S., according to a 2023 Census Bureau, 41% of U.S. households, so this is U.S. households, reports income of 100,000 or more. All right. So while we don't have an exact head count, we know that making six figures places you in a relatively higher income segment of households. In Maryland, about 38.7% of households have an income of 100,000. Now, this could be, when it says households, this could be two income earning people under one place. Okay. Two income earning people under one place. So the figures that I'm showing would be two income people pulling together their income in one place. If you're a single income earner that's making this much, then good for you. But 103,000 gross income, this is how much you're estimated to pay in taxes annually on that 103,000. I also had it take out the Maryland state tax, your Social Security and Medicare, and then estimate what your net take home would be after taxes and all of that jazz. So after taxes, you'll see in your bank account 76,125. Some smart people say you want to take your income and apply the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your income should be your needs, 30% should be your wants, and 20% should be used for savings or paying down debt, right? So if I'm saying that I'm getting about $6,323 a month, I should have $3,172 budgeted for your needs, which will be rent, food, utilities, transportation, insurance, things like that. And this doesn't even include childcare because I don't have childcare expenses to worry about. Your wants, you should have 30% of that $6,343 after tax, dining out, travel, all of your streaming channels, any hobbies that you do, and things like that. And then your 20% for savings or paying down debt would equal out to be about $1,268 a month. And this right here, savings or paying down debt, you want to be as aggressive as you can on paying down debt so that your interest, you're not paying other people out interest. You're looking at collecting and increasing your own net worth by adding to your savings or anything that's going to be an asset that can build for you going forward. So putting extra towards your retirement or 401k, ensuring that you have when I grew up, they used to say a 3-month emergency savings fund. Well, this government shutdown right here is already telling you that you don't need just a 3-month emergency savings fund. You should have a 6-month emergency savings fund. And then anything extra that you might have after taking the 23%, ensuring that you're putting towards your 401k, your retirement, which some people don't do. I like that the government makes you do it. If you're a government worker, there are pros and cons to being a government worker, but if you're a government worker, they make you put towards a 401k. Other jobs or employers will make you put money towards your 401k. And then if you're smart about it, you'll throw a little bit extra to it, especially if they offer matching to your retirement account. I'm going to zoom in to make myself bigger. If your employer offers any kind of matching percentage to your retirement account, you need to take advantage of that. It's free money. It's free money that's building for you. All right. So let me see if I can get to the second page here. So this right here is just a bit of the breakdown of what that would look like. $2,100 for rent here in my area is about what you would expect to pay. And this is closer to the lower end. I was looking at moving here, and for a 3-bedroom place that's in a, I'm gonna say, gated community, 2100 is the lower. 2100 is the lower end. I'd say the average would actually be closer to about 24 to 25 plus for rent in this area. Now, this isn't a mortgage. I didn't factor in like paying a mortgage or anything. This is just renting. For utilities, electricity, gas, water, and internet, actually, this would probably be bumped up to about 400. I wish I would have take a look at these numbers prior to going live. This would be about $400 average over the month. Groceries is about right. Man, the cost of eating is just expensive. Transportation, this is assuming you don't have a car payment. Because if you do have a car payment, you can add at least $350 to $400 to this easily. So now this is bumped up from $300, which includes your gas, insurance, and upkeep, to roughly, I mean, actually, you might want to go 2.5 on this. If you still have a car payment, you're going to be paying about, I'd say, let's see, add another 500. You're going to be paying about, living in the Frederick area, commuting into DC, you're talking $900 a month. Let's say $850. $850. You're around $850 a month if you have a car payment. Plus you're looking at gas. Plus you're looking at tolls. All of that jazz. $850 if making payments easily. Healthcare costs $200 a month. Boom. So now this figure here, this total needs, is going to be up by bumping this up, by bumping up the rent a little bit, by bumping up the car payment. Let me see, 500, add another 150, add another 250. So you're talking adding another 900 to this. So your total needs for rent, groceries, everything that you need to basically eat is going to look more closer to about 4,150. And this is just an estimate doing quick math here. And that is a little bit, that's 60 or so percent of your take home pay, roughly. And let me see if I do the math on that. 4,150 divided by, what's this? 6,343. 6,343 is, yep, 65.4% of your net take home pay is going towards your needs. And I haven't even touched wants or your emergency fund just yet, savings, things like that. That's also not including childcare. If you added childcare to that expense, it just automatically goes up. Now, how are we looking as far as the cost to be able to live comfortably? And remember, I did this calculation with somebody or a household that's making, that has a gross income that's gross of $103,000. Your net estimated take home after everything comes out is going to be about $76,000. We know a lot of households are making lower than that. I know what the census say, but a lot of households are making lower than that. Pete add all of America don't have a savings either. It's difficult to do savings when most of your money is going towards your mandatory expenses, right? Like things that you need to live, and or debt. Like my 2019, 2020 years were rough. And the reason why they were rough was a little bit, I went from 2 paychecks, being that I was married, so a higher household gross earnings, from 2 incomes when I combined me and my ex-wife's money into the house down to 1. And it was a slash. And then I absorbed most of the debt that I made. Actually, I absorbed all of the debt that I made, as well as paying for child support and a car payment and all of those things. And I went from immediately living okay, living comfortable, to paycheck to paycheck. And it was my own doing. It was 100% my own doing. I could have been okay if I did not have the consumer debt that I racked up by my own doing. Again, that was nobody's excuse, no fault of anybody's, not the government, nobody. It was my own doing. Now, if you want to turn things around, when you know how much you're earning, now you have to budget and live in a manner that fits that criteria that works for you. So, if you're not making, let's redo these numbers. Let's say I'm going to go down to what I believe. If you're, let me see, factor in a household of, let's do 75K. 75K gross. What's the 50, 30, 20 rule look like then? It's going to drastically change these numbers. If you're only making 75,000, right? Like, let's say if you're a single earner working at Walmart. I don't know what Walmart cashiers make or people that work at Walmart in this area make. I'm not entirely sure what their pockets are looking like. But now, if you're one person making 75,000, which I believe is probably on the high end at Walmart, if you're working at a cashier, like if you're not on the administrative side of Walmart, your estimated net take home is around 57,000 after income, taxes, and things of that nature. So now, if you apply the 50, 30, 20 rule to that 57,000 after taxes on your net take home, you only have $2,375 to apply towards rent, utilities, groceries, transportation, and insurance. Remember, I told you here, a 2-bedroom around this area, a 2-bedroom on the lower end's about $2,000. So you're not going to be able to apply that same 50, 30, 20 rule here to build wealth. The 50, 30, 20 rule is a budgeting tool, a budgeting technique to help you budget well and build wealth. When that clicked to me, things made sense. So I had to go, okay, applying the 50, 30, 20 rule, I need to cut this out. I need to cut that out. I need to rebudget this over here so that I'm not paying so much in this area while I work on this. Okay, this is how much I have to pay down towards my debt now. All right, let me take this amount and I'm going to use the snowball method and pay this off. And once I pay this off, I'm going to take everything that I was paying on that to move over towards here. And once that's paid off, oh, now I was paying $50 on that, $100 on that. Now let me take that $150 and move it over towards here and aggressively pay this off. Then boom, once you start chipping things away, once you start paying off the things that you're paying interest on, because that interest is doing nothing for you. That interest is making other people wealthier. And it's not contributing to your own net worth. When you can see your own net worth rise, it has a very positive psychological effect on you. But you have to sit down and put these numbers on paper for you to realize what it is. Pete said he looked up what the start hourly pay is for Walmart, and Walmart will start at $15 an hour. So 15 an hour for full time is how much annually? I don't think it's much. I don't think it's much. If you start out making $15 an hour and you're working full time, that is $31,200 a year before taxes. Before taxes. And that's assuming that you're working full time. You can't get nowhere near this budget breakdown with that amount. Let me bump it up to, let's see, what about, let's do $24 an hour. $24 an hour. If you're making $24 an hour, that's $49,920 before taxes. You can't afford, I don't know if y'all can see my arrow when I'm circling over here. You still can't afford this breakdown that I'm showing on the screen here if you are a Walmart employee that's making $24 an hour. You just simply can't. Your net take home a month is going to be roughly $3,425. That's this total needs here for about this area. Matter of fact, you're already in a deficit. How are you getting to work? How are you driving to work? You can you can lower the transportation down a little bit if your car is paid off. Are people driving around here with paid off cars? I know several people that are. I'm not. I'm still making car payments. I am making car payments on the 2020 car that I got brand new. If I could go back, I would do that all kinds of different. But most people aren't. I mean, most people are making a car payment. You have people that are skipping out on healthcare because they can't afford it. Man, that $200, I need that. So let me scratch that out. That could be a mistake. Now you have something where you go into the hospital for, and you don't have health insurance, and you get slapped with a $15,000 bill. That example I just gave you. I won't say who, but that is a real life example that somebody is dealing with right now because they made a choice not to keep up on their health insurance. And if that person's listening, you know you made a mistake. You have options. You had an option. You made a mistake. It's the cost of living. That's the cost of living. I would almost say it would help you as an individual to come up with a plan, have an idea, make a business decision with somebody to say, hey, look, I can't do this by myself. Why don't we form up like Voltron so that we could at least be able to live and have a comfortable life? You would almost say that it would need to be a business decision going forward. It's one of the reasons and one of the main factors why I say if you are living paycheck to paycheck, it is my opinion that unless you're already in a relationship, don't get in a relationship. When I mentor young guys and I talk to people that are seniors in high school, about to go into college, or that are in their young 20s, I always make the suggestion, unless they were wealthy, unless I'm talking to a young man that parents have set them up pretty good to where they have wealth themselves And even those guys, if asked, I still tell them, stay away from relationship. Build your net worth first before you look at trying to do something with somebody else, because a relationship is an expense itself. It is. A relationship is an expense itself. You are going to expend time. You're going to expend resources. You're going to expend, as Coach Greg Adams would say, your meat, money, energy, attention, and time. And that money, energy, attention, and time is something that is going to either cost you. Actually, no, it is going to cost you, period. It is rare that spending any type of money, energy, attention, and time is going to generate a net return to you. I can't think of an example. Maybe somebody else out there can. Pete said, or you can get a sugar mama, which, you know what? There is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that one bit. Get you a sugar mama. Absolutely. Let me see if I can make sure that this works. My sound effect didn't go off. There it is. Get you a sugar mama. That's not a bad way to go. That's what a lot of people are doing today anyway. I don't know if y'all have heard of websites like Seeking Arrangements, or there's one for like cougars specifically. There are websites out there. Name Your Price. People don't know this. Some people are living in blinders, but websites like Name Your Price, which is exactly what it is. It is a name your price to go out with me. Here is my price for you to take me out. It's not even dating anymore. It's monetized. Seeking Arrangements, sugar baby website. And it's more geared towards men that have money looking for a sugar arrangement than older women that have money looking for some type of sugar arrangement. That's how it is. Nothing wrong with it. I ain't judging. I'm not judging one bit. Y'all might know somebody who's on there right now, got a profile that's active. No judging. Do what you got to do. I can't imagine, like, my kid is 18 years old, so I'm about to make a pivot. My kid is 18 years old. She is a college student that isn't earning any income just yet. Now, maybe, just maybe, she'll be able to get into some type of job or start a career that allows her to earn a decent amount of money coming out of college her first year. But at the way that things are costing now, she will not be able to afford on her own living where we live and be able to survive. She won't be able to do it. Not by herself. She would have to take where she's living now. She'd have to move. You move to a lower cost of income area and you have two people that are making $20-something an hour. If you are looking at Greenwood, Mississippi, you can make that work. You can make that work with two people in a house making, remember that $22 an hour. Actually, no, I said $24 an hour. $24 an hour annually before taxes is $49,000. So let's just round it up because it's actually almost $50,000. You make $100-some thousand as two people making $24 an hour in Greenwood, Mississippi. You're doing well. How many people or how many jobs out there in Greenwood are also offering $24 an hour. That's the other caveat to it. My kid is going to have to figure something out to where she can support herself, because if not, she might have to do what some people do, and there's nothing wrong with that. Come to some type of arrangement with somebody. Find yourself a roommate. Hey, let's look at rooming together so that we can at least split the housing expenses. Maybe she do what a lot of people are doing. And again, there's nothing wrong with this, because you have to frame it to make it work for you. You live and you stay with your parents so that you can take your net income and apply towards building your net worth. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with staying with your parents. I don't care how old you are, especially with this money. Now, it has to be for a reason. You should be staying with your parents to also build your net worth. Focus on paying down towards debt. If you're not doing any of those things, then you're essentially just getting a free ride, so to speak, without making a positive dent towards, your own life. Because what happens if something happens to your parents? Then what? If you are staying with them and the Grim Reaper comes, and then now that is no longer an option, what's your plan? A lot of what I talk about when it comes around money stuff, the money streams that I do are my least watched stuff, but it's some of the most important streams that I have, because once you realize these things, you can start seeing your life skyrocket. One of the content creators that I watch, Coach Greg Adams, he talks about bossing up, right? And I've been watching Coach Greg Adams' channel on YouTube here since like the end of 2019. Really, it was early 2020. His podcast was called the Bounce Back Podcast initially, and then he reimagined it to be the Free Agent Lifestyle. And part of that was the thought process of he used to be a college basketball coach, and how when you're a free agent in sports, that's one of the best times that like your market value determines what you make. Your market value will determine how much money you can generate for yourself from interest with other teams. So you want to be a valuable free agent, but how do you make yourself get there? And I thought about that, and there was something about that breakdown that just made sense to me. And then I took some things and applied it and really moved to, change my life around. Pete said, "Can I make $21 an hour in the DMV area?" Yeah. I think it's around $18 an hour here, most jobs. But if you do that, like you said, you will be living in your car. If you're making around $21 an hour, there are places that you can live where your expenses are a lot lower. Hagerstown. But this is the catch-22 about all of this. If you move to a lower income and a lower expense area, things like crime go up. There's trade-offs to every decision and everything that you do. So it's doable. It's possible. You won't be living in the best area until you really get things popping. $21 an hour in the DMV area, you're not building up a savings. You're slowly, because I'm talking about you may be only able to take $10 a paycheck to put towards a savings. And that's still better than nothing. It is still better than nothing. But you really, when I say you really have to squirrel your money, you really have to, I mean, every red cent needs to be accounted for in a manner that's important to you. Plain and simple. So my lesson for the day that I want to end this live stream with is to know your budget. Know your budget. I like the 50-30-20 rule. That's 50% towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% towards an emergency fund and or paying down debt. And you should really be paying down debt. Y'all tell me, do you need to have your emergency fund set up first before you pay down debt, or should you have your debt paid down before you create your emergency fund? I need people that are smarter than me to put the answer down in the comment section. I think you should indeed have your emergency fund first, and then you look at paying down debt. And that's going to be difficult to do. I get it. When I say I understand the difficulty of that, I get it, because I had to make that kind of a decision. I spent money to hire a financial planner at the end of 2020. Say, hey, look, here are my last 6 months of bank statements. Help me figure out what it is that I need to do to turn things around. And that financial planner did a fantastic job. While they created the plan, I still had to execute it. It was still up to my discipline to make that happen. I have since, I no longer need that financial planner because I now had the plan. I have the discipline myself. And if I'm being honest, you could use ChatGPT. You could use ChatGPT as a financial planner. And when I'm telling you, it will do a fantastic job of labeling things and creating a plan that can help you turn things around. It then falls to you to have the discipline to execute it. So that's my time for today. I am going to keep my live streams to about 7:30 in the morning, even though I'm still furloughed. If the government opens back up, 7:30 is when I start my 9 to 5. So 7:30 to 5 technically for me, as I work a compressed work schedule. So we'll see what happens. Let's see if the Senate gets their vote in today, if they can get a bill that's passable, that's then going to go to the House of Representatives, that's signed and then put to the president's desk for him to sign off on it. We'll see. We'll see. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. I'll be live streaming on Veterans Day as well. I'm a U.S. Air Force veteran. So I got today for me tomorrow, y'all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Hit that like button. I'm the actual King Smith, and I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Trumpets bled a golden call. A throne awaits, I rise so tall. Drums like thunder, shake the hall. Royal rope, I wear the weight. Diamonds cut the night, no debate. Heavy is the head, but I'm feeling great. Crown me king, crown me king. Horns will shout, let the kingdom sing. Crown me king, crown me king. Bow to the sound, feel the power I bring. I bring.